All right, welcome back. We're doing another tutorial and I'm bouncing back between styles. So I might have uploaded my boxing tutorial first, but the thing about me is I do mixed martial arts. I train all styles. I've done wrestling, I've done Muay Thai, I've done boxing, and all of those are part of my entire move set. So what I want to teach is something that most people don't fully understand because they feel like it is not useful for any type of self-defense or just fighting in general. Now, people are starting to understand the danger of throwing a kick, but a lot of people think kicking is something you got to be insanely flexible for, or you got to have 10 plus years of training just to get your leg out. At the end of the day, people can kick a soda can across the street, people can kick a soccer ball into a goal. It's about kinetic. Damn it! I got punch. It is about your body's kinetic chain. So what we're going to do is that we're going to learn how to be able to shift our weight and use the kinetic chain to be able to move our body and weight across this line from A to B to your target with full fluidity and relaxation. Because one of the most deadliest things you can do when throwing a kick is to be over tense, locking your hip up, over flexing the leg. It's gonna mess with the mechanics and you might look a little awkward or off balance when you throw it. So the first thing we do with any strike is we step. That is our initial gauge. We are preparing our body to accelerate, to propel ourselves forward. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a step forward, but we're not gonna take it like a boxing step. We're gonna take a very outside, almost like you're going in the opposite direction type of step. So what this does, it helps open the hip. And when that hip opens, you're able to bring your leg up way easier than if you were just doing that. Because you have very limited motion and range to where you can actually articulate the hip to be able to follow through with the real power of a kick. Because honestly, the kick's power doesn't start from when you're coming off the ground. It comes from at the end of the range when you're finally chambered it in. But the weight and momentum created from your body's kinetic chain is what creates the oomph, the strike, like that baseball bat weight behind the strike. So I'm just going to demonstrate. Take a step out here. You raise the leg. This is the most important part that not a lot of people know because they think it's not important. You need to chamber your kick to be able to actually articulate your hip through the strike and then come down. Now, this took me a really long time to develop. I had to lose a little bit of weight to do that. I used to just try to swing my leg as hard as I could. But when you get used to that, it builds bad mechanics and you can compromise your structure like that. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna chamber the kick and then you explode through. But this is all in one motion. You can break it down, but I know it's hard for certain people to stand on one leg. There are ways to do this. I'm actually gonna make videos for these drills so that you can help better isolate hip strength and create, better control over your leg when you're standing on one. So a basic kick is you step outside and you throw it. But you see, I'm a little exposed. This is something that most people feel like kicking is useless for because if you miss, you're exposed. But there is a defensive measure that you're able to take, and I actually learned this from a very well-known Muay Thai fighter who's actually very old, very old. He's one of the OGs. But what he taught people to do was that whenever they throw a kick and their body isn't facing their opponent, what they should do is pull it back and check. That is something I do a lot more now because it is not something I want to consciously keep telling myself to do. Oh, after I throw a kick, make sure I check. No, I'm just going to practice it so that the check always comes. Even if I throw a left kick, I want to still be able to block. Because at the end of the day, just like you can kick somebody, they can kick you back with the same amount of power, the same amount of speed. So you always want to be defensively ready. So what you want to do, that leg shoots up in a direction. So no matter where it comes from, you're protected. I can even have it right here, and it might stop them from thinking they can kick me, or they might still kick me. But as long as my leg is out here to check, they're still hitting shin bone. I'm gonna get better at these, but I just felt like doing it today. I felt like just getting out here. I feel like just sharing what I know, because at the end of the day, this is something I really want to do. I want to teach people. I want to learn. I want to grow, and eventually I can share this knowledge with the rest of the world and people that, you know, feel like they want to learn how to defend themselves, or they want to know an accessible way to get into martial arts without being in an intimidating gym. I'm learning just like the rest of y'all, but I still got that hunger and I still got that drive to share what I know for the rest of everybody else. So, you know, like, share, do what you gotta do. I love you guys, even though y'all don't know me, but y'all gonna know me soon.